welcome here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. Hope you're having yourselves a great morning. Appreciate your patience here this morning as we got set and ready to go for our Friday edition of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, and happy to be with everyone up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, the West Coast, and all around the globe. So however you're connected with the show, we thank you for being with us. And of course, you're on one of these live streams right now on youtube.com, facebook.com, as well as MixLR. Well, youtube.com, facebook.com, both /wakeupcalldt, I should say, and wakeupcalldt.podbean.com. So however you're connected with the show, thank you so much for tuning in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life. We have an awesome show set up for you today. As you know, we have a trio of signature segments that come to you every single Friday. So we'll start the show off with the annoying moment of the week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street in DeWitt, New York. And then we'll go on to Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-lib, and Deliver is what the acronym stands for. And that will be coming to you from Chick-fil-A Cicero. Chick-fil-A Cicero there for you on 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, New York. And then we'll jump into our Top Dog of the Week announcement. Top Dog of the Week announcement coming to you from K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare on 228 Old Bridge Street in East Syracuse, right across from BJ's Wholesale Club. And you can see it coming off the highway as well as coming down Bridge Street right by Erie Boulevard. So make sure you go to them today for daycare for your pup and your, well, whatever age your dog is, your pups, your big dogs, your dogs that have, obviously had a lot of years of wonderful wisdom here. Your dogs are welcome at K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare, so make sure you head out there today and let them know that DT sent you. You can call them at 315-437-7110. That's 315-437-7110 and get in touch with them today. So with that being said, trio of signature segments will lead right into our 10:15 live conversation with Marques McKinney. Marques McKinney joining us after being named the Manlius Pebble Hill head coach for the boys varsity basketball team. So very excited to have Marques McKinney on the show to celebrate this head coaching opportunity. And that, like I said, is coming up at 10:15 a.m. Eastern time. So with all of that, let's jump into the annoying moment of the week. And the annoying moment of the week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt on 4322 East Genesee Street in DeWitt, New York. I have the opportunity to pick whatever I want every single week and speak on why it's the annoying moment of the week. So my annoying moment of the week for this week, I'd have to, there's some things on my mind, some different things on my mind. But one of the things on my mind is the fact that we're living in a society right now, I was talking to my dad about this last night, where when people have differing views, they just don't hear each other out. They don't talk it through. It's just, this is what I believe. Yeah, well, this is what I believe. Yeah, well, this is what I believe. Yeah, but that's what I believe. And that's it. And I'm not saying every conversation goes like that, but I don't understand why it's so polarizing. There's people that will literally end friendships over who people voted for. And to me, that is so stupid, because you're probably not even going to ever, you're not going to meet that person, you know what I mean, that you voted for. You're going to end a friendship over somebody that neither one of you know. And I think, people have reasons why they do things. They have reasons why they choose things. And I just find it to be ridiculous that we're in this society now where people will stop being friends with each other and stop talking to each other and just fight with each other over this stuff. It just seems to me so ridiculous. And it's got to stop. To me, it's got to stop. You allowing things like that to ruin your friendships, it's just, what's the point in having so essentially what you're saying to your friend is, if you ever if you ever like something if you ever like someone I don't like something I don't like, I'm gonna never talk to you again. I mean, I have friends that believe in things I believe in. I have friends that have different thoughts, and we all talk. And when one of those friends can't be nice, I just stay away from them. I'll leave them alone, and if it continues to happen, then I stay away for good. I always pray for them. I hope the best for them, but I mean, to me, it's just ridiculous that there's people that have allowed political parties and candidates to ruin their families, ruin their friendships. I mean, people that you're never going to meet, some people that could probably care less about you. So, to me, that's one of the annoying moments of the week. My other annoying moment of the week is sometimes you can give everything to someone and it doesn't matter. And that's just the real. And just because you gave everything you could and they didn't appreciate it doesn't mean that you didn't give everything you could. And it doesn't mean it doesn't have value. It means to that person, it doesn't. And that's something that's, been hard for me to really take in over the years is, if I gave something to someone and they didn't appreciate it, then I thought, well, I don't have any value then. Well, then I guess I don't matter. I guess I didn't do enough. I guess I'm not smart enough or funny enough or working hard enough. When in actuality, some people, sometimes it's your parents, right? No matter what you do, your parents not proud of you. We see that's in movies, it's in TV and whatnot. No matter what somebody accomplishes in their life, their parents always say, well, you should have done more, you should have done better, you should have been this, you should have done that. Right? Some of you come home to somebody that you're dating that, you mowed the lawn, you watered the garden, you took the kids to school, but they want to know why you didn't cook dinner. And you're sitting here like, are you kidding me right now? I mean, can you at least say thank you for what I've done? The friends that you were always there for, that were only there for you when it was convenient. Places that you've worked with, that, you do everything in your power to bring up that place, brighten it, help it, and they don't care. And I had to really learn this week the reality of you could do everything right. You could put everything, and not even do everything right. You could be kind, consistent, just caring, open, inclusive, helpful, and it doesn't matter. Some people just don't care. And some people make up their minds without even knowing why they made up their minds or what mind they're making up. Some people, I mean, my mom went through this before. My mom walked into a store when she used to work in setting up displays and whatnot. And she could feel that this woman was kind of maybe like staring at her or whatever. And my mom went up to the woman and she goes, I'm sorry, like, do we know each other? And the woman said, no. She said, but from the moment that you walked through the door, I saw your face and I didn't like you. There's nothing that you can say or do that's going to change that. For whatever reason, I just don't like you. And that's, to me, one of the most asinine, ignorant, illogical, irrational things to say to someone. I saw you. I have no idea who you are. I've never heard you speak. I have no connection to you, and I don't like you. Something inside of me doesn't like you. And my mom, I'll never forget my mom telling me that story because it's the reality of the fact that sometimes people will misunderstand you, misquote you, just look at you, and I don't like that person. And I don't think it had anything to do with my mom's, heritage, the fact that she's Italian. I don't think it had anything to do with that. It was just like this woman was like, I saw your face when you walked through, and I don't like you. Something inside of me just doesn't like you, and nothing you say or do is going to make me like you. And it's such a ridiculous thing until you realize that it doesn't matter. It's not about people liking you. It's about getting back to heaven. And we're going to talk about this in the next segment too with Lead, because Lead and the annoying moment of the week seem to cross paths with each other all the time now. And that's divine intervention, because I'm absolutely just speaking my mind in the moment. There's nothing scripted or written down. And for whatever reason, God is always like bringing these two together. But when I look at life, it's not about pleasing other people. And people say, yeah, it is, Dan, you're an entertainer. Your job is to get as many people to like you. No, it's not. My job is to chase my dreams, to help others, to tell stories, to bring people together. My job is not to be liked. My job is not to say and do everything that you want me to say and do, because once you become someone's puppet, this is the thing that I've learned about people. The people that are very hard to please, if you do everything that they ask you to do, you will still not please that person. I know that from dating. I know that from friendships. I know that from business relationships. I know that from people in my family that are just mean. And sometimes I talk about it on the show, and sometimes I shy away from it, but the reality of it all is, like, I've dealt with over a decade of having people in my family that woke up one morning, decided they didn't like me anymore. We never fought. We didn't have it out. To this day, I still don't know what it is. And I talked to somebody in my family, and they said to me, they're like, well, maybe you should talk with them and get their side and find out why. And I was like, why? Why get their side? If you can wake up in the morning having allegedly loved someone in your family, and you could just decide that you don't like them anymore, you're going to be mean to them, rude to them, ignore them, pretend like they're dead, and you're going to let years of your life go away, and now you're past a decade where you've been hateful and disrespectful and illogical and irrational, and you've been absent from that person's life, you want me to go to that person who's been illogical, irrational, and ask them a rational question? A logical question? This is how I look at life. If you can wake up in the morning and hate my guts, good for you. Good for you. I hope the best for you. Am I perfect? No. Is anybody perfect? No. But I sure as heck do not want to hurt anyone. I've never wanted to hurt anybody. I'll have moments where I'm really upset. I had one of those yesterday because I'm very disappointed in something that has happened. I'm incredibly disappointed to the point where I don't know if I will ever associate myself with that thing anymore. And, but I look to God, and God's like, I know you're angry. I know you're upset, but we're not going to swear. We're not going to yell. We're not going to call people names. We're not going to cuss them out. We're not going to go up to them and, rip them to shreds. We're going to be the bigger person, because your job is not to please that person. Your job is to come home. You got to think about it this way. If being nice, kind, consistent, caring, if that didn't warm that person's heart, going up and yelling at them and putting them in their place is not going to warm their heart either. You kill them with kindness more than anything else. And in some cases with some family members and some people you work with, you can kill them with kindness and they're still not nice to you. And that's okay. And it's one of the biggest lessons I've had to learn over my lifetime. It's okay to give your all and have somebody not appreciate it, because that has nothing to do with you. You have no control over it. You can't stop it. And it's just reality. It's reality. Not everybody is going to like you. Not everyone is going to appreciate you. You could do literally, genuinely everything right. There's times where I felt like I exhausted every avenue and the person I was dating was still fighting with me. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, like, what else could I have possibly done? I'm exhausted. I feel like I've done nothing for myself, or very little. I feel like I've laid down and let this person run me over. And yet they're telling me that I don't do anything. And you just have to get to a place in your life where you don't let people's opinions of you dictate to you who you are. Now, you have to be honest with yourself. You got to be real with yourself. If you're someone who's terrible to people, but you're surrounded by people that tell you how amazing you are. I mean, you got to know the truth beyond the claps and the cheers. And if you're doing the right thing and you're surrounded by people that are screaming at you, putting you down and telling you that it's the wrong thing, you got to know well enough that you're doing the right thing even though you're not surrounded by support. And to me, that takes God. To me, it takes God. When people say, when I'm doing everything nice and kind and I care and it's not working out and people are being mean to me, what the heck? And then, why do people like people that are mean and negative and spiteful and hateful? Like, why would somebody like somebody who's a bully? So people are basically asking, why is it opposite day, right? Why is good being treated bad? Why is bad behavior being treated good? And where do I go? And my answer to them is God. And it's always going to be God. Because there's no human being on this planet that can be a compass for you. Because we're all sinful. We've all done so. Even the nicest person you know has sinned at some point. It doesn't have to be anything big. They could have swore, right? Could have stubbed their toe and swore. But we've all sinned. We will all sin. And it's about having a compass, a guide through this world. Because there's a lot of fake in this world now, folks. There's a lot of fake in this world. There are people on social media that are not who they say they are. That don't do what they say they do. That don't have the money that they say they have. That aren't as happy as they say they are. There are people that will pose a totally different life than the life that they're actually leading. And it's sick. Because we used to think that Hollywood was fake. But thanks to social media and how some people use it, the person that's fake might be your next door neighbor, might be your mom, might be your dad, might be the person that you just broke up with. I've watched things unfold on social media that are not true. That are literally somebody playing a victim after they just fired the gun. So what I can tell you in this world is you have to know who you are. You have to get to know God, and the best way to do that is by praying and sitting in silence at times. And realizing that you're not going to make everyone happy. You're not going to please everyone. And you can't change people. You can't. You say, well, Dan, yes, you can. No, you can't. Not unless they want to be. You can't. You cannot change somebody. And you can do everything right. You can say everything right. You can be there for them. But you cannot change people. They have to change themselves. You can influence the change, but you cannot secure the transaction. That has to be somebody else. It's kind of like trying to pay someone through Venmo. You can send the money, but they have to accept it, right? You can send the advice, but they have to accept it. And not every advice is good advice. Again, how do you know what's good advice? How do you know when somebody has good intentions? How do you know when someone loves you? How do you know when someone's trying to help you? How do you know when someone's trying to hurt you? How do you know when someone's lying to you? God. Prayer, peace, silence, sometimes fasting, being in quiet with God. That's how you know. That's how you know. And if the world doesn't want to hear that answer, I don't really care. Has politics helped you find your happiness? Maybe. It's probably ruined a lot of friendships too. I'm not saying a career in politics. I'm saying, if a politician is your God, you've probably been let down. You probably have some warped view of reality. If a Hollywood star is your God, you probably have some warped view of reality. Because people are flawed. They are. And sometimes we get to points in our lives where we're just so done with how we've been treated. And we want to tell the people that hurt us what they've done. But if loving them and caring for them and being there for them and trying with them and giving them every benefit of the doubt doesn't change them, screaming in their face most certainly isn't going to do it. And that's reality. That's reality. And that really to me, that puts it to bed. When you say, well, I want to say something. I want to do something like this ridiculous. And then you say to yourself, well, being kind and compassionate and good and present and showing them all these things to help them and be there for them, that didn't work, then how is yelling at that person going to work? No matter how rude a person is, most people want to be treated right. Even the meanest of the mean want to be treated right? That's the hypocrisy of this world. It's that people that are really mean to people and disrespectful, people that are late don't ever want to wait for somebody. People that cheat don't ever want to be cheated on. People that tell people how to do their job absolutely never want to be challenged on their job. That's a reality. That's something that happens in our society. Even the worst of the worst want to be treated really, really, really good. That's the hypocrisy of life. And what I've learned is, if doing what I feel is right, following God, helping people, being consistent, under-promising and over-delivering, being more present than I need to be, and doing everything I possibly can to help doesn't cut it, going in and telling you what a disappointment you have been, that's not going to cut it either. It might touch their heart. It might make them think. But people do what they want to do and they say what they want to say. And that's something that you have to understand. If someone is willing to hurt you and they consistently do it, if someone's willing to steal from you and they consistently do it, if someone who is willing to ignore you or not hold up the end of their bargain, they're telling you who they are. And if I've learned anything about life, when someone shows you their character or lack thereof, listen, pay attention. One of the greatest pieces of advice my brother Rob Drummond has ever given me that works in every situation is, when somebody shows you who they are, believe them the first time. Because it will only be more of that. If someone shows you they're a good person, believe them. You're only going to see more of that. If someone shows you that they have really bad character flaws, believe them, because you will see more. There's one person that did something and it just threw me off. You ever bring somebody out for like food and you pay for it and they don't even offer to pay for it? They don't talk to you about it. They don't say thank you even. Like, it's so rare in my life, if it had ever happened before, that when it happened to me, I sat there and I said to myself, I was like, what type of human being would do that to somebody else? Like, go have a meal, expect you to pay for it, see the bill come, don't even mention the bill, see me pay, don't even mention that, don't mention to leave the tip, and then if you do nothing else, don't even have the common courtesy and the like basic upbringing to say thank you. I appreciate that. Anyone who's ever given me anything, I say thank you. And if I didn't, it was like a total, it was not something that was meant to be done at all. It's like, oh my gosh, I didn't say thank you. Well, thank you. When somebody does something nice for you, you say thank you. And that showed me a massive character flaw. And then that same person tried to script something out to me. That same person asked me to do my job in a way that would lie to you. that are watching and listening. They asked me to be vague. They told me what question was going to be asked by me, how they were going to answer it, and that I need not ask any more questions after that. I can't mention this. I got to do this way. And they prefaced everything off by saying, I'm not going to tell you how to do your job. Well, when somebody starts off a conversation saying, I'm not going to tell you how to do something, they're about to tell you how to do it. And I sit here this morning and there's a little bit inside of me, this like fearfulness that somebody tries to create in you of like, even though you're not saying the name of the person, you can't talk about that. You can't say that. And it's like, why not? Why can't I talk about that? Because those two instances with that individual, it has only gotten worse with that individual. That person does not respect. That person does not care about relationships. They are transactional. They are aloof. Their morality, I bring into question. Their value set, I bring into question. When someone treats an ally like they're garbage, I can only imagine how they treat an enemy. And this week, I had to learn the very tough lesson of you can give your heart, your mind, your body to everything. And people could still look at you and go, I don't care. And when other people don't care, you know, a lot of times that brings us down. But it shouldn't. Because, again, most of you didn't get to your husbands or wives because the first person that you met just thought you were amazing and valued you. A lot of us got to husbands and wives because we went through a journey and we dated people who did not value us, who did not care what we did, who lied, cheated, and stole. And then we found the right person. But don't live in fear to spread your voice. I'm not ever here, and I told you on the show, we're not ever here for personal attacks on anything that I do. Life is full of experiences. I have a right to speak about them, but I'm not going to personally attack. I know the experiences. I know the people that were in those situations. They know who they are. And I have the right to talk about that. It's the annoying moment of the week. Somebody cuts me off in traffic. Somebody does something wild. Somebody starts yelling like a goat in the middle of Wegmans. I can talk about that. I hope that never happens, by the way, because that would be ridiculously scary. But, you know, I wouldn't be surprised in today's world. But I have the right to talk about the fact that the most annoying thing about my week, I'd be lying if I didn't say it, is the fact that I have given so much to a certain place. And it has not only not been reciprocated, it has even been an ounce, one iota, a grain of sand, a flicker of a star of anything back to me. It has been me doing a passion project and having someone try to step on my fingers at every turn. And so the reality of saying let them is genuinely something that I think about, and I think you should think about. Take the power back. Let them disrespect you. Let them not like you. Let them say things about you. Let them be rude and crass and hypocritical. It's not saying you agree with any of those things, but it's saying let them do that. Take the power back. Because you have, so many times we think that like we have control. Like if someone disrespects us, well, we're going to tell them to stop doing it and they're going to stop doing it. It's not the case always. Or, you know, I'm just going to keep doing the right thing and hope that this person does the right thing back. Well, that's not always the case. And it's a tough pill to swallow, but it's the truth. You're not always going to come across people that are going to do the right thing. And you're not always going to come across people that care. That's just life. And it's hard, but it's true. And if I learned anything this week, it was that you could do everything right and give everything of yourself, and to the wrong people, it's never going to be enough. to the wrong place that doesn't have the same vision as you, it's never going to be enough. And don't hate those people, and don't cuss them out, and don't call them names, and don't stoop to their level, and don't screw them over. You walking away from a bad, unhealthy, unjust situation, that is your response. You're calm, collected, faithful, move forward. That's your response. And I don't want to sit here afraid this morning. I'm not bitter. I'm disappointed. I'm let down. I'm let down that I've worked with places that have no vision and seemingly no care for good people, and will turn their back on you in a heartbeat. They will go from being your best friend to being nothing to you. Or nothing to them, I should say. I'm annoyed that I have family members that have absolutely no desire to be a part of my life, who I poured my heart into for my whole life growing up. But again, it's not about holding grudges. It's not about an eye for an eye. And it's not about paying these people back that wronged us. It's about being the best person that we can be, trusting in God, and moving forward without some people, without some places, without some things. As you get older, you will realize your health and your peace are really important. And you will immediately start regretting conversations about people that are hateful and mean and disrespectful to you. You will begin to regret the fact that you even uttered a word to give that person or that thing or that place any more time. So the best thing I can say to you is, we always spin annoying moments into positives. Trust God. Start praying even if you never have before. And realize that just because you were not appreciated doesn't mean your best isn't good enough. And it doesn't mean that what you didn't have an impact or it didn't matter. You have to let people be who they are. Take the power back. And don't ever let your happiness lie in the hands of anyone, no matter how nice they are to you, because your happiness is your own responsibility. With that being said, this has been the Annoying Moment of the Week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt. We'll be back with Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-Lib, and Deliver right after this.
Hi, this is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the Whole Frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge, and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item, available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating at 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Open Monday through Saturday in-store and always online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, order anywhere, anytime at maandpaspopcorn.com. Stop in to get a tin at Ma and Pa's on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York to get your half-price refills for the rest of your life. Come to Ma and Pa's for your holiday gift giving for family, friends, employees, and clients. And remember, for fundraising and events, to call 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life inside the Great Lakes Honda City studios. Great Lakes Honda City coming to you on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Head over to Great Lakes Honda City today to connect yourself with your new ride to bring home for you personally or for you and the family. New and used vehicles on the lot, including Honda Civic, Honda Accord, as well as the Honda Pilot, Honda Passport, Honda HR-V, the Honda Ridgeline, and my favorite, the Honda CR-V. All at Great Lakes Honda City while supplies last. Go to greatlakeshondacity.com to get a sneak peek and head over there today and let them know that DT sent you. They're open Monday through Saturday. It's now time to jump into Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-Lib, and Deliver. Proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero. And always happy to have Chick-fil-A Cicero with us, all the wonderful work that they do. Of course, I, through Chick-fil-A Cicero, got to meet one of my brothers, and that being Jimmer Sikowski, and I cannot say enough about Jimmer and how much love I have for my brother, who is truly a blessing from God all day, every day of the week. So, love you, brother. With that being said, today's topic for Lead, when God moves you. When God moves you. And this, again, has to do with what I was talking about in the annoying moment of the week. When you can't figure out why something's not working out, it could be God moving you. My mom gave me fantastic advice. And the advice that my mother gave to me when I was going through something, I had been working in an area for a while and built this relationship. One of the relationships that I appreciate the most. And my mom and I were talking. And I said to my mom, I said, they're being pretty unfair. And they asked me to prove myself. And I thought I did. They saw me work. They followed me around. They heard me. They stood right by me when I was working. I was consistent. I was kind. I was honest. I asked questions that were responded to well. I didn't ask anything that was disrespectful or hateful. I'm the man I've always been and continue to grow to be. And when they asked me to prove myself, I did. And when they asked me again, I did. And I kept doing it. And I've sent them email after email providing a plethora of things to show them that not only are they wrong in their assessment of me, but it is so far on the other end of the spectrum that it's not even funny. And they didn't respond, and they didn't respond, and they didn't respond. And the fourth email, they responded, and when basically the email was, hey, we already made a decision on you. So basically, it didn't even matter what I said. It was like, prove yourself, and then I proved myself, and I was like, yeah, we don't care. And my mother said to me, you did everything you could. You did everything right. You told the truth. You gave them examples. You gave them what they needed to show them exactly that you are who you say that you are. You gave them everything you could. So my mom said, you gave them everything you could. You did everything right. And if doing your best and doing everything right still isn't good enough, that's God telling you that he is redirecting you. He said my mom said, in moments like this, when you do everything that you possibly can and it's still a no, this is God redirecting you. You have to pay attention that God may be moving you in another direction. He wants you somewhere else. And my mother was right. And this week, just like in that situation, I believe that God this week said to me, you've done everything you could. You underpromised and overdelivered. You worked far more than you had promised you were going to work. You've done more things than you promised you were going to do. You've shown up in more places than you ever had to be. You've done certain things for free that other people wouldn't do. You've traveled far. You've sacrificed. You've done things for these people when you were sick, when you should have been in bed. And after all this time, it's not enough for them. God is redirecting you. And my mom didn't even have to say it to me this time, because I believed her so wholeheartedly last time, and it stuck with me so much last time, that I realized the next time that God is talking to me in a situation like this, I have to listen. And the last person I dated, I wanted so badly to figure things out and be wanted. And I took all of this abuse and all this bad behavior, and I allowed myself to stay in a situation that was one-sided, that was transactional for them, relationship for me, and was so stressful and unhealthy. And in a work relationship this week, I said to my mom, I go, if I stay with this place work-wise, it's like staying with my ex-girlfriend. I will have learned nothing if I stay in another toxic relationship. That is never going to change. Sometimes God will make you uncomfortable, because if things were comfortable, you wouldn't move. Sometimes God has to give you a situation in order to get you to do something. And if I've learned anything in my life, it's that life is not meant to be easy. It is meant to be lived. It is meant to be learned from. And we are meant to move forward having gained knowledge and wisdom. It was about gaining knowledge and wisdom. God is in everything. Yes, we have free will. Well, Dan, are you saying that God let those people disrespect you? God let you be here? God let you be in situations that were bad? Why would God punish you? God did not punish me. He showed me a powerful prayer. God, let me see who is on the other end of this relationship. Let me see them for who they are. Not what they say they are, and not what they pose to be, and not what the facade is. But God, let me see behind the veil and know exactly who these people are. So one of the most powerful prayers you could pray to God, show me who they are. But you have to listen. Because in the situation I was just talking about in the annoying moment of the week, those two character elements, not caring, like expecting me to pay and not saying thank you, and then trying to pre-interview me and script an interview to try and get me on board with whatever agenda you have that to this day I still don't understand months later. That was God saying, this is who they are, beyond the compliments and the softness of their voice and the kindness that you think is here at all. This is who they are. Feet to the fire. These are the things that they will do, and these are the things they won't. And those two moments never left me in that relationship with that person, and it's only gotten worse. When a red flag approaches you, listen, I would have kept myself from so much pain in my life if I didn't just look at all the red flags, but I made a decision to get away from that situation once those red flags present. I would just look around and I'd be like, wow, I'm surrounded by red flags. That's not good. I guess I'll stay here and see how many more will pop up. Because I don't like to quit on people, quit on relationships. I always want to make things better. I always want to see things through. And sometimes seeing something through is moving away from it. It's not quitting when you leave a bad situation. It's not quitting when you choose your health and safety and happiness. It's not quitting when you make a decision that where you are is not appreciated, so you don't need to be there anymore. I never want to give up on people, places, or things. But if I've shown them my heart and I've given them love and I've treated them the way I want to be treated and it doesn't work out, I've done my part. I've done my job. The place that my mom said God is obviously moving you away from and redirecting you, those people and how they treated me will never change the relationships I built with people there or the impact that I feel like I had. And it will never change the years that I put in. Just because they're rude to me in the present doesn't change the past. It just tells me that an organization with them is an organization that I really don't want to associate with. Because if I had met them in the first steps of being with that organization, I would have never been with that organization. I wouldn't, you know what I mean? It's like, I probably would have never been let in the door. But the question is, and my buddy said this to me, he goes, you don't hate the organization. And it's not the organization's fault. It's the people. Now, the people make up the organization, and they are, in a lot of ways, they're the welcome mat, right, of the institution or the organization, but it's not everybody that's there. You know, you could go shop at a grocery store and the manager there could be one of the most disrespectful people in the world, but 75% of the employees are the nicest people in the world. So you had a bad experience with the manager. You can't say, well, this place is a hellhole. That manager is not great. But the 75% of good people that are there, if you call the whole place a hellhole, then you're lumping those people in with everybody else. You know, I had somebody sit in front of me before and tell me that they hate all media. They don't like anything. They don't like anything about the media. It's the job. It's the part of their job they like the least. And they looked at me, being somebody who is in the media, and said, well, you know, don't take it personally. I dislike you all equally. I don't like any of you. I don't like any of you. And I thought to myself, this person just lumped me in with a bunch of people that I'm not very fond of. There's people in the media that don't tell the truth, that are disrespectful, that plagiarize so much. I don't know if they've ever written anything that was completely their own. But to say to me, well, I hate dealing with the media, and you lump me in with those people, what am I supposed to do? Turn around and say, well, your job title that you have, I've met 3 people in your job title that were some of the meanest people in the world, you included, so now I hate everyone that has the same job title? I can't say that. I can't say that. as a single man in society, I can't say to the next person I date, I've dated some women that were really crappy. So I hate all women, you included. By the way, would you like to date me? I'm sure that'll go over well. God is going to show you who people are in an attempt to guide you, to lead you. One of the prayers I always pray, God, guide me toward what you want from me. Guard me from what you don't. Guide me to you. Guard me from the devil. Guard me from evil, including all demons. Guard me from that. Guard me from the evil. Guide me toward being closer to you. And your will over my want. Because the thing that disappointed me this week, it's something I wanted. But God's will is bigger. And when God moves you, let him. Because I have only had strife and pain when God has tried to move me somewhere and I've gone in the opposite direction or I've stood still. There's never been a time where God tried to move me and I said no, and it was good for me. Every time that God has tried to move me and I didn't listen, I paid for it. And every time that God has tried to move me and I listened, I was better off, including this time. Let God move you. As I said before, you can't put all your faith in people. You can't put all your faith in this world. You can hope for this world and you can build relationships, but God is the only anything that will consistently do the right thing. With that being said, we'll take a step aside here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Inside of the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, this has been Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-Lib, and Deliver, brought to you by Chick-fil-A Cicero, Jim Sikowski, and his incredible team. You can see those team members by watching our video series, The Light Between Us, on Facebook and youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. And you can go to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt, click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and find the Light Between Us playlist on our YouTube channel to never miss an episode of those uplifting, positive pieces with the wonderful team members at Chick-fil-A Cicero. Today's topic, when God leads you, when God moves you, brought to you by Chick-fil-A Cicero here on Wake Up Call. We'll be back right after this with the Top Dog of the Week announcement.
Here's a message from Renee from Bryan's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York. Open Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and Sundays for brunch.
It's a lot like the way that my mom and dad ran their restaurant. We have put in place a lot of people that are family to us, very similar to how my dad hired people that were family to him. And then the tradition I'm carrying on is a lot of the items that are on our menu are my dad's. And he taught our chefs how to recreate his dishes. So I think that Tommy McNerney, who our executive chef is, to him it is an art. And I think that when he does create a dish, it's not just about making the food taste delicious, which is definitely our priority, but it's an art to him, and it's almost like his canvas on a plate where he just wants the colors to look great, and people love it because he takes pride in that. And Bryan and I appreciate that. We want it to obviously look good and taste good. I will tell you, when we opened up, it was 6 weeks before COVID. And what was amazing was the community, our friends and family stepped up, and everybody did takeout. Everybody supported us. Our hearts were just so filled. So to Bryan and I, obviously our friends come all the time, and we just have repeat customers in Jamesville, and I think people going to our previous restaurant in Green Lakes are making the trip to come to Bryan's Landing to support us. And I mean, I think we have great food and a great atmosphere. So it's very, very important to us.
Head to Bryan's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York, where memories have become recipes that are now meals to share with you. Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and on Sundays for brunch. And be sure to come out for live music Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Life gets busy, and sometimes that means us running around. So K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare offers you an opportunity to give your dog a place to stay while you take care of what you need to throughout the day. K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare is located on 228 Old Bridge Street in East Syracuse, New York. You can see it from the highway, and it's just off of Erie Boulevard across from BJ's Wholesale Club. Call 315-437-7110. That's 315-437-7110 to schedule an appointment to bring your dog in and tour the facility. Appointments are Monday through Thursday after 6:30, where you and your dog can see everything that K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare has to offer, including a self-serve dog wash and a retail store filled with all of your dog's wants and needs, including food, treats, harnesses, leashes, and more, making K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare your one-stop shop for your furry-loving friend. Right, Lily?
Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. We appreciate you being here every single Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And it is now time inside of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora here inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios to bring you the Top Dog of the Week. Top Dog of the Week, proudly presented by K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare. You can get in touch with them at 315-437-7110. That's 315-437-7110 today. And you can go for more information to K-9 Kamp.com. That's K-9 Kamp.com. Top Dog of the Week this week. And I made a promise to him that I would mention him, but he didn't know he was going to be mentioned this way. That is something that is a hopeful, pleasant surprise for Shane Paternity. Shane Paternity, I want to wish you, I just want to say thank you for everything. And I definitely just want to say to you that I appreciate you so much, Shane. And you, to me, are my top dog of the week, Shane Paternity. And the reason why is there's a kindness and there's a goodness to Shane. And I just want you to know it's appreciated. He came up to me yesterday. He said, take a look at these. And he brought me a stack of cards. He said, I found these in like my mom's Avon box. And they are old Syracuse basketball 1988-89 cards. And I'm going to show them to you now. So there's Jim Boeheim. There's Sherman Douglas. There's Steven Thompson. Look at the camera zooming in so nice. There's Derek Coleman. Matt Rowe. Obviously, good relationship with Matt Rowe and his son, Trevor Rowe. Billy Owens. Some of you might know that gentleman. Herman Hareed. Rich Manning. Dave Johnson. Anthony Scott. Eric Rogers. And Dave Syak. And he just brought these to me yesterday. He just brought them over. We were having trade night at the Wildcat. Shane's out there doing his thing. And he said, and Shane, I'm sorry I didn't get to come over and look at your cards as well because I wanted to do that. So let's make some time to do that. Because I'm a man of my word, and I told him I wanted to look at the cards. He's like, I don't have much with me today, but I definitely want to take a look at them, so I owe you that. So let's make sure that we figure that out together. But he just came over to me before he left, said, hey, I'm leaving. He said, I wanted to show you these. And he said, what do you think? And I said, they're really cool. And he goes, good, keep them. And that's not the first time that Shane has come over to me and shown me something that he thought I would think is cool. And then after I say it is cool, he turns around and says, great, it's yours. keep it. So to those of you that are out there in this world doing things that might be little things to you, they matter. It doesn't matter how much these cards are worth. It doesn't matter the price tag on any of that. What matters to me is the fact that a friend came up to me and out of the goodness of their heart said, I want to show you something. And in the back of their mind, we're going to surprise me. And I had no idea. Hey, Dan, wanted you to check these out. By the way, I want you to have them. So Shane, as I told you, these will stay right here in the studio. I will find a place for them to be. And you know what? I might put them right here with my orange wake-up call shirt. Right there. You could see them. The stack is right there. Because in this studio, everything that's here has a meaning. Everything that's here matters. And a lot of it has been given by people with good hearts. So Shane Paternity, I celebrate you today for being a nice person with a kind heart who does things that you might think are small. But moments like that at any age, Shane, if we were 6-year-olds and you did that, and the same as doing it now, I would appreciate it the same way. If we were 6-year-olds on the playground and you said, hey, Dan, you think these are cool? Yeah, well, I want you to have them. I would appreciate it the same as at 6 as I do at 39. Thank you, Shane, for working hard, for being kind, for always taking the time to tip a hat, wave, or come over and do something so nice. Because of people like you that pay it forward and do good things for people, I promise you I will pay it forward and do something for somebody else. Because kind hearts like you deserve to have a domino effect and do have a domino effect that is positive in this world. Much appreciation to you, Shane. And those will never leave the studio. Unless I'm showing them to somebody, and then they'll come right back. God bless, and thank you to good people like Shane, who do things that may seem small, but genuinely are special, and remind me that there are kind, giving hearts in this world that do nice things for people, expecting nothing in return. They just want to do something nice. God bless you, Shane, and all your loved ones. Thank you. Thank you for doing nice things in this world. We need more people like you. K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare bringing you the top dog of the week. 315-437-7110. That's 315-437-7110 to call them today to get your dog set up for daycare. And you can find out more information by going to K-9 Kamp.com. K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare, the only place to bring your dog for daycare any week of the year. But you got to call because they will fill up, and do not waste time on that. If you know your dog needs daycare, call that number. Seriously, right now. We're going to go on a fast break. Call them while we're on the break. 315-437-7110. When we come back, Marques McKinney will be joining me here today to celebrate becoming the new head coach of the boys' varsity basketball team at Manlius Pebble Hill right here in Central New York. Stay with us.
In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville beats. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you. Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
All right, you need to come out here and get yourself the Brooklyn Pickle. I was talking about this with one of my buddies. I was like, yo, there's no better sandwich in the state of New York than the Brooklyn Pickle. And now that I found out that they're going down to North Carolina, we are taking over your taste buds everywhere you are, wherever you're going to be. You need to get yourself out to the Brooklyn Pickle. Pinehurst, you just realized that you found yourself the best sandwich shop that you're ever going to have. This is a glorious moment. It's a blessing to your community. You're welcome. Brooklyn in the house, baby. Go over to the Brooklyn Pickle. You already know what it is.
You heard the man. Head to Brooklyn Pickle Pinehurst on 1788 Old Morgantown Road in Southern Pines, North Carolina.
And a welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. Appreciate you being here with us Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern time. And I'm very happy to have on the broadcast joining me here this morning, picture in picture, to celebrate the opportunity that he has to lead Manlius Pebble Hill. That is Marques McKinney joining us here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, new Manlius Pebble Hill boys varsity basketball head coach. And you've known him from a lot of different avenues here in the sport of basketball here in our community. And, of course, OCC, I think, is how we got connected originally when he was over there. So, Marques, how are you? Welcome.
I'm doing great, Dan. Thanks for having me on.
Of course, man. And first and foremost, congratulations. When I saw the news and I saw the graphic, I'm happy. You know, there's people that you root for and you look at things like that, and and it was an awesome graphic of you just there, just watching a game, getting into it. You could tell that you had that like kind of fire in the belly, and then you see MPH on the bottom. So I definitely want to say congrats, because I was out at the Wildcat at trade night with GG Cards and Breaks, and as soon as I saw it, I was just, jumped right on the opportunity of wanting to get you on here this morning, because I'm happy for you.
Oh, I appreciate it, man. I'm super excited for the opportunity to lead Manlius Pebble Hill here this next year coming up, and I think we got a lot of work to do, but definitely can be done.
So for you, I mean, you've had different stops in your career, different places that you've been in the world of basketball. Why Manlius Pebble Hill, and why right now?
I think this is a great opportunity to explore the high school route. I've coached a college game for a long time, and it's been very, very, very blessed to work with tremendous coaches throughout that time. But I just feel like I wanted a new challenge and working at the high school level, and Manlius Pebble Hill presents a great opportunity for me. Great academics, great infrastructure, and I think they're just eager to get the boys program back on track.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, you mentioned great infrastructure, and that's a word that we hear tossed around a lot. A lot of times when people are running for office, they'll say infrastructure, and I say, what does that mean? So when it comes to Manlius Pebble Hill, what is the infrastructure that you're speaking on that you feel like is so good and something that was enticing to be a part of?
They really upgraded, their school and facilities. When I took a tour of it during my interview process, I was just amazed on how far it's come. When I first moved up here up to Syracuse, and I remember Manlius Pebble Hill, and I just remember it was a very small gym and things like that, and everything was very old, but they've done a tremendous job of building it up, and I think that what they're trying to do is really, really exciting for me to get involved with, and I just can't wait to get going.
So for you, when you look at what they're trying to do, I mean, obviously teams want to win championships and move forward in that respect, but beyond that, what are some things that you see at Manlius Pebble Hill, and maybe you get from speaking with the leadership when it comes to what they're trying to do? What are some of those pieces that you feel like are important to the leadership, the administration over at Manlius Pebble Hill?
Just find it's about all about character, great character. I think that's anytime you're with a program, you want to have people with great character, great work ethic, enthusiasm, and I think they have that and all that. To try to build sports up, and especially for boys basketball, been down. The program's been down a little bit the last couple of years, and now I think we can really change that. We got a lot of great ideas and great things that we want to try to do, and it's going to take time. It's not going to happen overnight, but in due time, it's going to happen.
And you said about building this program back up. What is it that you see when you look at the bones of this Manlius Pebble Hill program? What are some of those elements that you feel like you can build on that essentially is Manlius Pebble Hill?
Well, it starts, with JV and modified, right? So you got to try to build your program up from the ground up. I feel that's essential, especially at the high school level, is trying to find the right talent that can help your varsity program. And I think there's some pieces out there on those teams that I think those kids could help. Hopefully we can get them in the gym here in these next couple of days and really evaluate. The talent level and things like that, and just really build. I think year one is all about building the foundation of what we're trying to do for the year one. And like I said, I think in the interview process on Syracuse.com, I said we're not going 0-20. That's not going to happen. So I'm going to do everything that I can, and hopefully staff that's going to be put in place is going to do everything that they can to help this program and help these kids. Get this program back on track.
And you mentioned it, 0-20, right? You can't go lower than that. You can only build on this and move forward. To take over a program, it sounds like the essence of a story that is waiting to be told, right? That 0-20 from darkness to light, so to speak, right? From the rise out of the ashes. Just what you could say to that element. Some people would look at an 0-20 program and say, why would I take over something like this? Look at where they've been. Some people would say, hey, mediocrity is good if I win half the games and people love me. But you're not either one of those people. You're not the who cares, it's not a big deal, 0-20, whatever, I don't have to work that hard. You're also not a person that accepts mediocrity, I would imagine, from, my vibe with you. So what can you say to taking over 0-20 and the fact that this can be a really cool story? And honestly, I think it's going to be.
It is going to be a really cool story. I think, I've seen a lot of people, for example, you look at Pat Kelsey, who was at Louisville. He took over a program that really was down the last couple of years. And what he did last year is truly remarkable. And really changing the attitude, the effort, the culture, the mindset. I think that's what I've kind of, really bringing here to Manlius Pebble Hill. And I think, in conversations that I've had, with some of the players, I think they want that. They want a change in mindset and culture and attitude and effort. And that's going to be, something that you're going to see on the court, every night that we step on. And like I said, I think it's going to be a great storybook, a written story that's going to be, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. I'm just super excited. And, every day I just think about the possibilities of what's going to happen.
We talk about the word culture. It's important to me. I speak with coaches about it all the time and people in leadership positions. When you are looking at your foundational pillars of the culture that you're building, what are elements that have to be present, in your opinion, with Manlius Pebble Hill, with a team that you are guiding? What are the pillars of culture that have to be there?
There has to be toughness. There has to be a level of effort. There has to be a level of, not being outworked, sense of desperation, playing desperate every game. and understand that, teams are going to look at us and say, they're 0-20, we'll be fine. Like, no, we're not going to be the same Manlius Pebble Hills last year. We're going to get after it. We're going to, play a certain style that's going to fit our team. And, the guys are going to really enjoy it. I think the students are going to enjoy it. I think faculty, staff, alumni are going to really enjoy it. The energy and the passion that we're going to present every night. I just think when teams play us, it's not going to be easy. I can tell you that. And we're going to make it very, very hard for teams to beat us, or we're going to make it very hard on them when we beat them.
Yeah, we just got a message that came in here, and you talk about, people getting excited and whatnot. Jonathan, what he said, best of luck to Coach McKinney here. Glad to see you finally join the high school game. Thanks for showing him some love, Dan. So appreciate to Jonathan for that. But, I mean, that's the thing, right? I mean, when you go out there, and I was talking about this earlier on the show today, it's about how you treat people. It's about relationships. What can you say to that side of it, to the person that you are today? How would you define who you are and why you do what you do? Because I think that that's really important for people to know what you stand for as you take over the shop.
I mean, I do what I do because I care about working with the students. I care about trying to help them in their growth day in and day out, trying to help them make, sound decisions, making sure that they surround themselves with the right people. And then also at the same time, it's not about, basketball too. It's about the academic part and piece. And, Manlius Pebble Hill presents great academics. And definitely want to see our guys, be successful in the classroom and making sure that they're put in a place to go somewhere at the 4-year level, whether it be, D3, D2, JUCO, whatever that may be. Just want to put them in the best situation to be successful academically. But I just care. I care about the guys. I just want to be like one of the players, like how I used to be when I played in high school and played in junior college. And sometimes, those memories come back. But at the same time, it's about helping the guys, be successful on the floor.
And you mentioned it, Manlius Pebble Hill having the educational component to it. I mean, I went to Christian Brothers Academy right down the road, and it was always MPH and CBA, like who is going to give you the best education, who is going to push you the most, make you the most college ready. And so, Manlius Pebble Hill, you don't have to go there to know that the reputation is they prepare you for college, they put you in a great situation, and that colleges are highly looking at a place like Manlius Pebble Hill when they're looking to bring in students, and not just student athletes, but looking to bring in a high caliber of student. That element for you when it comes to the student and student athlete, what does it mean to work in a place like Manlius Pebble Hill, knowing the reputation that precedes them when it comes to the education that they offer?
I mean, there's great educators there that I met through the interview process, and they truly care about helping the students and pushing them academically, and making it hard on them and for them to be successful. I think that's one of the reasons why I am intrigued with the job and excited with the job is from the academic pieces that these teachers actually, I should say, care about the academics and care about their students being successful and putting them in a place to find the best college that fits them, when they graduate high school.
So, Marcus, for you, when you look at your upbringing and who was there for you leadership-wise, mentor-wise, when you take this job on and you move forward into this new chapter, who do you look back to, or maybe even still call today, that have given you words of advice that still kind of ring true to you? Who are some of those people that you lean on?
So first one would be Del Harris. He's the assistant coach at the Citadel in Charleston, South Carolina. He was previously the head coach at the Collegiate School in Richmond, Virginia. It's well known. He worked at Jay Bill's camp this past summer. He's been a great mentor to me, as far as giving me sound advice and helping me along my coaching journey. Harley Fuller, who's the head coach at Mohawk, who's now the associate head coach at Bryant. Mike Blaine, who was the head coach at Medaille, is now the head coach at SUNY Plattsburgh. Those guys, and there's some other guys out there. Larry Blunt, who's also a head coach at Orangeville Prep up in Canada. I've been surrounded and blessed to be around a lot of, guys that from all different levels, from Division I, Division II, Division III, junior college. They've all given me great advice on how to do this thing and working as a coach, and now as a high school coach. And your mentality a little bit has to change at the high school level, but the fire and the passion is not going to change. It's always going to be there.
And, like you said, that fire and that passion is always going to be there, but you're on a different side of things now. And when you're at a college, you're recruiting. Now you're being recruited. So what do you like about that element of, instead of being one of many that are going to talk to a kid, you are now in one place that is responsible for just those kids within that place, not kids all over the country. I mean, it's obviously a different side of it, of wanting to get exposure for your kids as opposed to trying to be the loudest voice in a room of a bunch of people looking at the same kid.
Again, it's all about, with my kids now, try to develop them the best that you can, their skill sets, what they're good at, and find a program that fits them, that, and a need. I think, it's all about, if you can do that with your kids and develop their skill sets and present them in front of college coaches and film and things like that. You can get them in your gym. That's the most important thing, is trying to get some college coaches in our gym, to see our guys and put them on a platform. I think that's, if we can do that, I think it would be, bring tremendous, light to the program and really bring some more, excitement.
Do you look at, because of where you've been and the connections that you made, as this team grows at Manlius Pebble Hill and as you improve and implement your culture, do you look down the road to an OCC and say to your kids, like, hey, I know what it's like to have been over there. I know what it's like to have that experience. It's not your typical junior college. First and foremost, I feel like there's a lot of rumors that need to be dispelled with junior college. But on top of all those things, OCC is atypical, right? You can live on campus. They have that incredible SRC arena that's there, and their facilities are awesome. So do you kind of look at this, because you've been in the community and coached in the community? Do you kind of put that bug in your kid's ear, or think about doing that, of saying like, hey, OCC is right down the road. It's in the community, and it offers a lot. And we've seen men's and women's basketball have some really incredible moments historically as well.
Sure, absolutely. I mean, anytime you can get a chance to, get opportunity to play close to home, you want to take advantage of that. When I lived, down in Fishkill, New York, I played at Dutchess Community College, which was not too far from home. And I had an opportunity to do well there. Almost scored 1,000 points and things like that, and play for a great coach in Joe Detz, who passed on, but gave me the opportunity and a platform to be successful. And anytime, you get that opportunity to play close to home and, play on a platform that's local, you try to take advantage of that. OCC has that. It's a great school, great facilities, great academics, and certainly definitely want to keep that bug in our players' ear.
So Marcus, for you, I know you and I were talking about this off the air. You got a little one.
Mm-hmm.
We can hear him a little bit now. What can you say about? Well, first and foremost, I want to give a shout out to those that don't know, to shout out your baby here, but just what it's like to have a little one in the house and how that challenges you in a good way.
That was great. She's a bundle of joy. She's energetic and always talking and smiling. And we also have our daughter Alia and Cameron, and they're great. They're full of energy, full of joy, and just blessed to be their dad.
I mean, you know what it's like to be a dad, but having a little baby's voice once again. I mean, how have you navigated through that? What have you learned? What have you learned, I guess I should say?
They always want attention. They always want to be heard. They want to be held, and they want to be put down. So I had to get used to that again. But like I said, it's been great, and like I said, the kids are great, and we just enjoy them.
Well, and to have that balance of work life and home life as well. I mean, you and I both know that basketball, I mean, the world of sports, if you're really committed to it, never leaves you. I tell my dad all the time, my job is 12 to 12. So
Mm-hmm.
for you, when you look at, being a dad as well as coaching, what do you like about being able to see them grow while you grow, right? It's not something that's happening separate of the other. You get to see through your children's eyes them experience you and what you're doing, and then you get to, obviously have them around the team, see their upbringing and whatnot. Maybe put the bug in their ear to get them a little basketball stuff going on. So I mean, how do you kind of navigate through the balance of being a dad as well as when you're a coach? Sometimes you're a dad to kids that aren't your biological children. Sometimes you're a big brother, and sometimes you're an uncle.
Yeah, it's important to be a father figure to your players and try to help them, because sometimes you have players that maybe don't have dads, and you want to try to help them and give them great advice and along the way and help them be successful. But, my kids, they've come to a lot of my basketball games, and my wife too, and they come and they watch me coach, and they see me be fiery and energetic and always on ready to go. But sometimes I go to their events, and their soccer and football and basketball, and and then you got to be a dad too. You got to cheer them on and help them along the way, and just again give that energy back to them as well.
Well, before I let you go, I do want to play some rapid fire and put each other on the hot seat and have some fun with this. But before we go there, when you look back on your journey, I know we've talked about some mentors and some people that have had an effect on you, but you've coached in different places. You've been able to experience different communities, different things, and different challenges, I'm sure. What would you say of your journey that you have taken the most from the different stops that you've had en route to Manlius Pebble Hill?
I think all of them have presented great, great challenges and great, just stories. When I first got into this, I didn't know what I was doing. I was just kind of just wanting to get into coaching and just try to be a sponge and learn. And as time has grown on, and been in coaching and been fortunate and blessed to go to Final Fours and network with a lot of different coaches and get a lot of different advice. I try to just take everything and just kind of continue to build it. And now, and bring all that here to Manlius Pebble Hill and try to build this program up and try to help this program, be successful. And, again, I think, my advice to any young coach trying to get into this business, you got to surround yourself with the right people that are going to help you along the way. You want to have people that are going to put you in the best position to be successful. And I think I've been blessed to have, people in that, aspect. And, I'm just looking forward to continuing the journey here at Manlius Pebble Hill.
Yeah, I mean, and being at a private school, I mean, you're in a unique situation, right? Because you can look throughout the community to find the right fit. And for that side of it, what can you say to the unique element that Manlius Pebble Hill creates for you, knowing that it's not simply a school that it's like, hey, this is the community, this is what we have, this is it. I mean, you have the opportunity at Manlius Pebble Hill to really reach to any nook and cranny of central and upstate New York. Just what you can say to that effect.
Obviously, definitely, it's great to have that, to be able to look at all the talent around central New York and all over, but obviously we have to see how that all plays out and how the, dominoes fall and stuff like that. So, but obviously it starts with year one and trying to build and trying to be successful in year one. And then, all those great things of potential, prospects, that want to maybe attend Manlius Pebble Hill, that could follow. So, but again, it's all about, building in year one and seeing how it goes.
Yeah. And there's a lot of excitement for this. Of course, Manlius Pebble Hill, like I said, the reputation precedes them of the educational piece, which I think, as much as we talk about you being a basketball coach, I am it's important to me, and I'm very ingrained in making sure that education is a part of these kids' lives. And I'm happy that we got to discuss that today, because Manlius Pebble Hill does create an opportunity that is unique. So with that being said, we get to put each other on the hot seat. Marcus, you get to start things off. What's your first question for me?
Have you been watching any NBA Summer League, and your thoughts on all the players and Cooper Flag and those guys?
So I will tell you, it's kind of been like a in the background thing. I used to go down to Summer League. I deeply miss the one in Orlando. I did Orlando Pro Summer League, I think, for 5 years. And, I mean, I got to see guys before people knew who these guys were. Got to see a lot of Syracuse guys again. And, you know, got to see Fab Melo, may he rest in peace. Got to see Johnny Flynn. And I got to see Arinze Onuaku a lot. And Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, I remember I saw him for a couple of years. And I said to myself, if there's anybody that deserves to be on a team, it's this guy. And that was before he had really made a name for himself in the NBA. And now people talk about him all the time. And, you know, it's just cool to be a part of that, seeing him before people saw him. And so, I mean, I love Summer League for that. I love it for it being, it was like in Orlando, it was such a just close experience. Like there was not a ton of media that, like, it was like if you were a part of the media there, you felt like you were like right there with the players, and you'd see coaches come in, and Michael Jordan would come, and Larry Bird would come and sit right underneath the basket, and, you know, Patrick Ewing was there. And just, I mean, I met Tim Hardaway. I had the opportunity of, you know, obviously spending some time with Roy Williams when he came out, and Brad Stevens. So it was a larger than life experience that was in a very like intimate setting. So I do miss that. So I would say when I think of Summer League, I think of that and wanting it to come back. But as far as, you know, how much attention have I paid to it, it's kind of been like an in the background thing, because it's weird to me that basketball is already being played like it just ended. But I do have every intent of paying a little bit closer attention, looking at some acquisitions that teams have, definitely looking at my Raptors and seeing if there's a heartbeat there of some things, because, you know, they were at the top of the mountain in 2019, and then they were kind of in that weird middle ground of making the playoffs but not getting anywhere past, you know, the initial part of the playoffs. So, I mean, I definitely want some of their prospects to pan out, and that would be my biggest thing that I'm paying attention to with Summer League is the Raptors and where they're going. My question back to you, if you could go to any NBA team right now and you could be signed, what team would you want to play for? And who are the first two players that you would say, if I'm coming to this team, I need these two guys with me?
Man, I mean, being biased, being a Knicks fan, obviously I would love to go to the Knicks, but I would say the Spurs. Okay. You know, the Spurs, you know, they you know, between the Spurs and the Heat, I would say 1A, 1B, you know, with the culture and the structure that they have. And, you know, they won championships. You know, you look at Spoelstra, who's won championships, and, you know, before that, Pat Riley won. And you look, Greg Popovich won championships. And what, you know, those guys do. And the first two players that I would sign, you know, I would want to have come with me if I was, you know, on any of those teams would be, you know, obviously, you know, Dwayne Wade and Tim Duncan. You know, obviously what they do on the floor, they're Hall of Famers. They were great for the game. The professionalism that they bring, you know, that they brought, obviously when they played and things like that. I think those would be the first two guys I'd want signed.
I like that, and I respect both of those choices. What's your question? Next question for me.
What are your thoughts on Syracuse men's basketball and their schedule, and you know, can they make the tournament?
Well, they're going to be challenged. You know, that Vegas little in-season tournament with Houston and Kansas is not going to be easy by any stretch of the imagination. I've covered Houston for many years. I got a lot of respect for Kelvin Sampson and what he's done there, and obviously Kansas is Kansas. So my thoughts on Syracuse: a lot of new faces again, and how those faces gel together is going to be interesting to see. I mean, this is Adrian's third year as head coach, so seeing really what the identity of the offense is, what defense he wants to lean on, how he wants this team to look, Did he find the pieces that he needed? Is it a system that you're looking to fit players into, or are you building a system around the players that you have? I think that really says a lot about a coach. And so, I mean, honestly, I mean, to be honest with fans, like last year, this year is a giant question mark. I mean, there's so much new that what can you truly say? Feet to the fire, Katie Kalinske asked me where I would have, this team this year. And I said on yesterday's show that I'll put them in the top. There's 18 schools in the ACC. I said I'll put them in the top 9. I'll put them in the top half. But how this team, if this team is going to make the tournament, they have to understand that it is very hard to thread the needle. The committee has not been generous to Syracuse, or to the ACC, I should say, and in the last 3 years. So I think, the ACC needs to garner some more respect. I think that happens with playing a tougher non-conference schedule and to not have 20 ACC games anymore, because I thought that was way too much. And, it's going to be how they gel. I mean, it's the real answer, I mean, you got Donnie Freeman and JJ Starling, and then you got, new everywhere. So, I mean, I would like to say they'll make the tournament, but it comes down to how Adrian coaches, what he implements. Did he find the guys for the system, or is he building the system around them? And how quickly can they share the ball, and how quickly can they become a team? So I'm hopeful, but anybody that tells you it's not a giant question mark would be lying to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
My question back to you. If you were going to ride one ride for the rest of your life, what ride would you go on? Where would it be? Because I'm a big amusement park ride guy. So what ride would you go on every day for the rest of your life?
Man, I mean, I would probably have to be a couple of rides in in Disney. I think there's a ton of rides down there that actually went to Disney last year, and I just it was fun. I don't really have a specific one. I think a lot of them down there, I think would be fun, and that would be something that I would probably do. Just take a bunch of rides on a bunch of different roller coasters and things like that.
Did you go on the Guardians of the Galaxy one?
I didn't. We didn't. No, we didn't.
Well, when that happens, your answer will change to that ride. So,
yeah,
it'll change.
I've heard some great reviews on it.
Oh, it's amazing. Your final question for me. What do you got?
You had to pick a right now. Obviously, it's very difficult, in the summer because a lot of programs are doing summer workouts. But your preseason right now, Final Four, and would you like to see UConn Syracuse rivalry back? And do you think Syracuse and Georgetown will come back?
So Syracuse and Georgetown needs to be an every year thing because Syracuse's rivalry is Georgetown and Georgetown's is Syracuse. I ask people the question all the time. I say, who's Duke's rival? And they say North Carolina. I say, who's North Carolina's rival? They say Duke. I say, who's Syracuse's rival in the ACC? And most people say Duke. And I said, so at best, Syracuse is the side chick in the ACC. The real rival for Syracuse is Georgetown. And they should be in the same conference. And I love the ACC. The Big East is almost completely back together. Sans Syracuse, Pitt, Notre Dame. And I feel like Syracuse and Georgetown not in the same conference is a disservice to basketball, in my opinion. Yep. So do I think that we'll see Syracuse, Georgetown? I absolutely think that's that has to be a mainstay every year. Syracuse UConn should be a rivalry reignited. As a kid, it was Georgetown #1 rival, and then a hair below them UConn, because those Jim Boeheim, Jim Calhoun days, those days were insane. And I mean, bragging rights, whoever won that game for the rest of the year in the Northeast, it was crazy. So I definitely would like to see UConn be a rival again. And then who do I think preseason Final Four? Man, I mean, I want to see Kelvin Sampson get one, so I'm going to put Houston in there. I'm going to put Houston in there. I think Louisville might have some pleasant surprises this year, but I don't know if I'm like ready to pull the trigger and put them in it, but I'm excited about Louisville. I'm going to say Houston. I'm going to say Gonzaga cuz Mark Few is just he needs one too. And then I would say Duke because John Shire, I mean, whether people love or hate Duke, John Shire and his players, he bonds with them in a way that I can see when I talk to him and I talk to them. It's there. He's just like they got something there. They got culture there that we talk about. So I'm gonna say Duke, Gonzaga, Houston, man, and I'm gonna throw in. This is so tough to pick one more school. Feet to the fire right now. Let's say Florida makes it back. Makes it back. But, I mean, these things can change, but I'd feel okay saying that. But, yeah, I definitely think Syracuse, Georgetown, Syracuse, UConn, that's an every year thing. I know it makes the schedule harder, but in all honesty, if you polled Syracuse fans and asked them the games they wanted to see, they would probably tell you Syracuse Duke, Syracuse Georgetown, and Syracuse UConn, and probably Syracuse Villanova, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I agree. And, I think and also go back to, preseason Final Four. I'd have to say UConn. I'm a big Dan Hurley fan, and I follow a lot of what he does and how he runs his program. I think UConn. I think Purdue gets back there. I think, Houston. I think it's going to be either Florida or Louisville as a fourth spot, or I think, as crazy as it may sound, I think Texas has a chance to get there, because they're older and they bring a lot of experience back. And year one, Sean Miller, I think he's going to do a great job there. So, yeah.
Well, I like the facts. I mean, I like your thoughts on it here, too. It's going to be interesting to come back to this video in a time capsule and see, like, if these teams start to shape out that we thought highly of here in the middle of July for this upcoming season. My final question for you. I have my own Sunday right down the road from Manlius Pebble Hill at Carvel DeWitt, and I have my own breakfast sandwich at Mother's Cupboard. If they were going to make a meal dedicated to you, what would you want the meal to have in it?
Man, Carvel, I mean, ice cream wise, definitely chocolate. Gotta have chocolate in there, and with mixing with vanilla, so kind of a mixture of both. I would say for that, and then as far as maybe a breakfast sandwich or something like that, bacon, egg, and cheese. I think I'm pretty simple and pretty easy, as far as that.
Well, the bacon, egg, and cheese inside of 2 pieces of French toast is my Q-Smack Mother sandwich. So the one you just described, you can go ahead and get it at Mother's Cupboard. So and enjoy it. Marques McKinney here, your new Manlius Pebble Hill boys varsity basketball head coach, looking to start writing a few pages of that story right now as we get set for the upcoming season in 25-26. It's always my pleasure to connect with you. I thank you, honestly, for your support over the years. It has been tangible and felt, and so it is absolutely my honor to see you become the head coach at MPH and to be able to talk with you. And you can be sure that you and I will be having plenty of conversations here on the show and off the air. But I do want to say, beyond everything, thank you for just being supportive and just showing love, because that goes a long way, and I definitely see it, and it's coming right back to you.
I appreciate it. Likewise, I appreciate the same, and hopefully catch you at a game and come to a practice and sit you front row.
Yeah, my thing is, listen, I got to be a sponge. That basketball is always in my blood, so I will. You send me a practice schedule, we'll make something work there, and I'm not going to turn down front row at a game, so we'll figure that out.
Definitely, for sure.
All right, man. Well, listen, have a good day. Say hi to the family, and I'll talk with you soon.
Sounds good. Will do.
Take care. Thank you, sir. That once again coming here from Marques McKinney here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. And happy to see him be named the head coach at MPH, as he's someone that's been supportive, like I said, over the years, and just somebody that you kind of root for. It's just, there's people that it just feels right to root for them. And he's somebody that I'm definitely rooting for and hoping the best for, and excited to see what he's going to do. I think it's interesting here that Wake Up Call has been able to feature on back-to-back days 2 coaches that were inside of the college world and are now becoming head coaches in high school. So I think it's pretty awesome here. And thanks to Fax Porcupine Podcast, who's mentioning New York City here. Are you from New York City, I guess is my question. And if you are, shout out to NYC. Love being out there and love spending some time out there every single year. Obviously love covering the Big East and all the good stuff there. So with that being said, we'll take a final step aside on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Great Lakes Honda City studios. And when we come back, we'll wrap up today's show and wrap up the week right after this. Stay with us.
Avicoli's restaurant, located on 7839 Oswego Road in Liverpool, New York, has been serving our community for decades. Your place to go for home cooking on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road is just minutes from Liverpool High School. And every single month, Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is on site, on location, with Liverpool sports, student athletes, coaches, and administration telling their stories throughout the year. We look forward to seeing you on site at Avicoli's for their casual pizza side, their fine dining, as well as their bar. And of course, you can order online at myavicolis.com. That's myavicollis.com. For takeout, delivery, and catering, call 315-622-5100. That's 315-622-5100. Come on into the neighborhood spot Avicoli's, open 7 days a week in Liverpool, New York. K-9 Campground Dog Boarding is your home away from home for your furry-loving friends. Open 7 days a week with drop-off and pickup times in the morning and later on in the day and early evening. K-9 Campground Dog Boarding is the spot to trust with your dog for short and long-term stays. Call 315-299-4013 for more information. That's 315-299-4013, and go to K9campground.com as well. That's K9 ground.com, where you will find all of the information on their different cabins, which include the classic cabin, executive cabin, grand cabin, and luxury cabin. K9 Campground Dog Boarding, where your dog will have indoor and outdoor areas as well as their own private cabin for any size, any breed, as well as dogs with different needs. Dog parents and dogs alike choose K9 Campground Dog Boarding. Isn't that right, Lily? Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvelange, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant.
GG Cards and Breaks. Like, comment, subscribe.
GG Cards and Breaks comes to you on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York. You can head over to GG Cards and Breaks Tuesday through Saturday from 10 to 6, and on Sundays from 10 to 5. We just had an amazing week of a double dose of GG Cards and Breaks trade night. The first one happened right off of Court Street in the old Syracuse China at Sport Zone Academy on Tuesday. And last night, we were back at the Wildcat Sports Pub there on 3680 Milton Avenue in Camillus, New York. And it was fantastic there as well. I had such a great time. Love the sports card and trading card community here in Central and Upstate New York. It's only growing. It's only getting bigger. People have just awesome collections. I've met so many wonderful people, so many nice people through this, so I can't thank y'all enough. Head off to GG Cards and Breaks. That is the hub for all sports card and trading card owners, no matter what your age is, and no matter if you've been collecting all your life or you just started to or you're thinking about it. GG Cards and Breaks is the beacon for all of us to head over to, that beacon of light on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York. Go there Tuesday through Saturday for packs, boxes, singles, graded cards, and more. Sports cards, Disney Lorcana, Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon, and all the supplies you need. And of course, you can go there Sunday from 10 to 5. And we'll look forward to seeing you Tuesday through Saturday from 10 to 6, and on Sunday from 10 to 5 at GG Cards and Breaks. With that being said, inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, I want to thank you for tuning in on YouTube.com as well as on Facebook.com, both /WakeUpCallDT and on WakeUpCallDT.podbean.com. And of course, once the shows go live, they jump into the archive and you can find them ever growing over 16, well, I think now it's over 1,800 episodes on Podbean alone. So you could go to any one of these outlets: Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts, Player FM, Podbean, Podchaser.com, Podvine, Spotify, TuneIn, and YouTube, and search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT. And we appreciate y'all for doing that. Make sure to follow and subscribe for free. Big time thanks to our North Carolinian listeners, of course, and our coverage of the ACC, whose home is in Charlotte, North Carolina. We thank all of our listeners in North Carolina, in Charlotte, in Cornelius, Southern Pines, Raleigh, Greensboro, Pinehurst, and beyond. Head off to the Brooklyn Pickle in Southern Pines today, down in North Carolina on 1788 Old Morganton Road. We look forward to seeing you there, and let them know that DT sent you. And many thanks to our team of partners right here in my home area of Central and Upstate New York. Proudly born and raised in Syracuse, and you will find Great Lakes Honda City, Carvel DeWitt, the Wildcat Sports Pub, GG Cards and Breaks, Brian's Landing, Pizza Man, K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare, Mother's Cupboard, Chick-fil-A Cicero, K-9 Campground Dog Boarding, Ma and Pa's, the snack capital of the world, Avicoli's, and we are the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of your Lemoyne College Dolphins, Bryan and Stratton College Bobcats of Syracuse, and your Binghamton University Bearcats. You'll find Lemoyne every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time during Dolphin Time. You'll find the Bearcats every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time during Bearcat Time. And you'll find them all by going to youtube.com/WakeUpCallDT. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, find our Lemoyne playlist, our BSC Syracuse playlist, and our Binghamton playlist. You can also watch them all by connecting on wakeupcalldt.com. You can get in touch with all the schools there on the homepage, as well as underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information, go to LemoyneDolphins.com for Lemoyne. Go for the Bobcats to Syracuse.bscbobcats.com. And for your Bearcats, go to BinghamtonBearcats.com. With that being said, I want to thank you all for tuning in today inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Many thanks to Ma and Pa's bringing us the list of topics and segments for the day. Thanks to Carvel DeWitt for the annoying moment of the week. Chick-fil-A Cicero for lead. And, of course, our top dog of the week, Shane Paternity, who gave me some awesome cards and just did a really nice thing in paying it forward in today's world. And top dog of the week coming to you from K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare, the only place to bring your dog for daycare any week of the year. And of course, many thanks to our special guest, Marques McKinney, who is the new head coach at Manlius Pebble Hill for their boys varsity basketball team. You'll find us all the time on Facebook at Wake Up Call DT, X at Call DT, and Instagram at wakeupcall_DT. For now, from the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, I say God bless, no stress, do your best. Be kind to each other. Be good to yourself, and remember that you can do everything right and still be treated unfairly and still be treated wrong. Don't stop being good. Don't stop being kind. I wrote this yesterday on my social media, and I'm going to share this with you today because I want you to know this and I want you to take this with you. And that is, I know sometimes it looks like evil is winning, that people are getting away with things, but keep doing good as hard as it is sometimes to be the bigger person. You're not living for them. You belong to God, and your eyes should be set on returning to heaven, not punishing someone who wronged you. Keep being kind, and know I'm praying for you always. You got this. Message that I needed to hear, and maybe a message that helps you today. Don't look at getting even. Remember the Our Father, asking God to forgive you as you forgive those that have wronged you. So forgive, be kind, be good, be loving, keep God your focus, and know that not everyone will appreciate what you do, who you are, and what you say. But keep putting good into the world, keep being kind, keep giving, and know that if you keep your focus on the Almighty God, things will always work out for the best. Ask Him to guide you and guard you. Be good. And know that the right people will appreciate you for who you are. Don't ever stop being the beautiful light that you are. It's not about how many people or who appreciates you. It's about being the best you can be and being happy in your own skin. It takes time. But trust in God, you're never doing it alone. And know that this world may beat you down. You may not get the answer you always want. You may not get the treatment you always want. But there is a God that will always come through.